Hey guys, this is Sharvan and again come up with my favorite video where you guys asked me the query on the comment section and I replied it by way of a separate video. So I love this type of a video and I said it earlier that I will make a video on that. Alright guys, so now without wasting the time, we should start this video. So now, first question is of Harinder Kumar. He want to ask, my head office is on the rent in Delhi and my factory is in Haryana and we have only registration for Haryana. If Haryana factory is paying rent on behalf of Delhi head office, then whether Haryana factory can avail input tax credit of CGST and SGST on that rent. So his head office is in the Delhi, factory is in the Haryana, and Haryana is paying the rent on behalf of a Delhi office. So he is asking like whether the Haryana can take the input tax credit because the Delhi office is not registered under GST. So before to answer the question, I want to say you that the input tax credit can be taken by the recipient, and the recipient is defined under section 2 subsection 93 where it says like recipient is those who is liable to pay consideration. So those guys who are liable to pay consideration is a recipient, and one of the also condition to take the input tax credit is that those persons should be in possession of the tax invoice, and the name of that person should be mentioned on the tax invoice who is receiving the service or who is receiving the goods. So now in that question it is not clarified like on the rent agreement like which party is in the rent agreement, whether the supplier is in the rent agreement with the Haryana office or whether the supplier is in the rent agreement with the Delhi office, because that will be a very crucial fact for this query. So I'm supposing like the supplier is in the rent with the Delhi office. So now if the agreement is between the Delhi office and the supplier, then it means then who are liable to pay consideration here? Delhi office. So therefore only the Delhi office can take the input tax credit, and also the supplier will issue the tax invoice in respect of a Delhi office, not the Haryana office. And you know that in this case Delhi office is not registered, so therefore Delhi cannot take the input tax credit. And you should also know this, that you cannot transfer the input tax credit to your Haryana. So therefore if Haryana is paying the rent on behalf of Delhi, then also Haryana cannot take the input tax credit because he is not recipient and also he is not in the possession of the tax invoice. Remember that. So if you want to take this as an input tax credit, then register the Delhi office. Or you can also do one thing, you can modify the rent agreement. So if you will get the rent agreement between the supplier and the Haryana, then the Haryana can take the input tax credit. But I have also issue in that. Suppose the agreement would have been between the supplier and the Haryana. So in that cases, because the tax invoice is now in the name of Haryana and Haryana is the recipient, but there is also one of the condition to take the input tax credit, which is input should be used for furtherance of business, should be used in the course or furtherance of business. Now what is the course or furtherance of business? So whether it should be taken on the basis of the single registration or whether it should be taken on the basis of whole registration in all the state combined together. Like suppose, because in this case Haryana is just simply paying the tax, not utilizing or not using that rent for his purpose. So therefore if the intention of the lawmaker is like we should take like the course of business or the furtherance of business of one single registrant, one single registered person, which is in the case is Haryana, then input tax credit cannot be taken. But if the intention of the lawmaker is like if the input is used for in the course of furtherance of business for individual as a whole, like individual as a company as a whole in every single state registration, then those Haryana can take the input tax credit. So in my opinion, the intention of the lawmaker is that course or furtherance of business in all the country combining together, because that is the intention of what GST come from. So therefore in my view, if the agreement is between the supplier and the Haryana and Haryana is paying the rent, but Haryana is directly not utilizing that rent for its purpose, so in my view that Haryana can take, because he is using the input for his business combining together as a whole company. So therefore Haryana can take it. But in this situation, I'm assuming like contract is between the supplier and the Delhi office. So therefore Delhi office cannot take the input tax credit. Also Haryana cannot take the input tax credit. Delhi cannot take because he is not registered. Haryana cannot take because he is not the recipient, and he is also not in the position of the tax invoice. So therefore in this case, no input tax credit can be taken by the Haryana. Next question again, Harinder Kumar. He want to ask, we have 5 immovable property and they are situated at different states. So we have to take GST registration for 5 different states or single registration for all the properties. So first of all, under GST, the registration is not on the basis of the immovable property, like where is your immovable property situated. No, it doesn't matter where your immovable property is situated. For registration purpose, section 22 says that you have to get yourself registration in every state from where you supply the taxable service. So registration or situation of immovable property doesn't matter for registration. What matter is that from where you are supplying the taxable service. So now in this case, I'm assuming like you are saying like you have the 5 different branches in different states and you are supplying the taxable service from all the 5 different states. So you want to ask, you have to registration in every state, or you can take the single registration for all the states. No, in the GST you have to take registration for every single state separately. So no single registration is there in GST as that was earlier in the service tax. So no, you have to take separate registration for separate states. Next question, Anil Cheerla or whatever. You want to ask, head office transferred the goods to branch office form F under earlier law. So the head office transferred the goods to the branch via form F, which was there earlier in the earlier law. So now those goods lies in closing stock of branch on appointed date. Who will claim the CENVAT credit, head office or the branch? So head office transferred the goods to the branch by way of a form H earlier, and that closing stock is appearing on the closing stock of the branch as on the appointed date, or you can say 30th June 2017. Now who can take the CENVAT credit? So in this situation, like in this cases, there can be 2 situations. First of all, like it is the case cover under section 140 subsection 1. Then in these cases, like in section 140 subsection 1, in whose credit, like in whose return the credit is reflecting, those can take the input tax credit. But in case that situation is covered under section 140 subsection 3, then there is an issue, and ICAI also seek the clarification from the GST department or CBSE, like in these cases where the branch or where the head office is transferring the goods to the branches before the applicability of the GST. In those cases, who will take the input tax credit which was there before the GST, branch or the head office? So ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, also clarified this issue from the GST department. So like in those cases, what will happen in case those person is covered under section 140 subsection 3? So you know that branch doesn't have the document, like branch doesn't have the duty paying document. In this case, duty paying document is in the name of the head office, not in the name of a branch, and that cases like closing stock is in the stock of the branch. So who will take the input tax credit? So in my view, that will be treated as a deemed credit under section 140 subsection 3, and the branch can take the input tax credit on those cases. But still that issue is under process, like ICI also seek the clarification from the CBSE. So therefore it is the pending issue, you can say. But for safe side or for legal purpose, in my opinion, the branch can take the input tax credit on the basis of the deemed credit as it is under 140 subsection number 3, read with the transitional rule. Next question, Anil, again the question of Anil. He want to ask, we have finished goods on stock on which we have paid concessional rate of excise 2% under earlier law. Can we take this as an input tax credit in TRAN 1? So again, 2 situation is there. First one covered under section 140 subsection 1, second one 140 subsection 3. So if that cases is under 140 subsection 1, then if that was allowed earlier under the Excise Act or under the law of VAT, if that credit was allowed earlier, then that would be mentioning into your return on 30th June 2017, and you can carry forward those cases into your GST. But suppose that case is covered under 140 subsection 3, where you was earlier not liable to take registration, or because earlier you was not registered under excise, then how can you take it, or whether you can take it? So in that case also you can take it, because in the invoice like 2% is there in the invoice, so therefore you can take the input tax credit in that case also. Next question, RV Joshi, he want to ask whether a dealer who got GST number in August can file return for July month. So he's asking like you got the GST number on August, but you were liable for registration for July. Like suppose taking the live example, like today is the 28th September, so you are liable to get your registration on 28th September, but you got the GSTN number on like 8th October. So there is a difference of 2 months. Like under GST you have to take registration when you are liable to take yourself registered, and when you will be liable to take registration like on 20th August, this day your turnover exceed 20 lakh rupees. So now you are liable to take registration, but you can take the registration within 30 days from the date you liable to take registration. So now after the 20th August, like when your turnover crossed 20 lakh rupees, then you have to also file the return regarding those cases. So now your question is, you get the registration number with effect from 8th August or you can say 8th October in these cases, but your liability was from 28th September. So now whether you have to file the return for September also. So yes, you have to file return for the September also, and you got the GST number okay from the different month, but yes, you have to file the GST return for earlier month also, from which point you become liable to get your registration. So therefore you have to also file a return for the month in which you become liable to registration, not in the month you receive the GSTN number. No, from the month you become liable to register, you have to file the detail, or you have to file the return from that month itself, not from the month in which you got the GSTN number. No. Next question, Dheeraj Dwivedi is also from Uttarakhand. So now, sir, suppose a person paid excess in cash in previous law through ACES. Sir, suppose a person paid excise, I think. Suppose a person paid excise in cash in previous law through ACES. No, again. Sir, suppose a person paid excess excise in cash in previous law through ACES. Now, can he claim that refund as there is no option for PLA in TRAN 1? Please give the relevant section. So he paid excess excise under earlier law, and that is showing under the PLA, which was there earlier under excise. So now that balance is showing in the PLA. So he's asking whether we can take the input tax credit in TRAN 1, and he's asking like there is no column of PLA in the TRAN 1, and he's asking like please give the relevant section. So section 142 subsection 3 says you that you can take the refund of any tax or CENVAT credit which was available for you under earlier law. So excess excise paid under the earlier law, you can take the refund under earlier law, and also as per the earlier law. So you have to take refund as per the earlier law, like you have to do the formality like filing the refund application and anything like that as per the previous law, not as per the GST law. So whatever the form will be of the excise, you have to fill that form for refund, not the GST RFD 01. No, you don't have to file the GST RFD 01 because that refund application will be processed under earlier law. So you will get the PLA balance refund as per the earlier excise law. That cannot be taken as an input tax credit under GST. Remember that. You cannot take the excess PLA balance as input tax credit into GST, and the relevant section is 142 subsection 3. Check it out, you will find your answer. Next question. Varun Mittal, he is asking, I am billing B2B exempted goods. Will it come in table number 4 or table number 3 or table number 4 or table number 8 of GSTR 1? So he is billing like business to business exempted goods to a person. He is asking where to show it. So table number 4 is there for you. No. Table number 8 is there for you, where you have to give the detail of exempted, nil rated as well as non-GST supply. Table number 4 is those cases in which there is a B2B and also there is taxable, like suppose 5% tax is there, and then 12% is there, 18% is there, 28% is there. But in case of a nil rated or exempted, fill the detail in table number 8, not in table number 4. Next question, Pawan Chauhan, and it is the last question. If GTA service is for exempted or nil rated goods, then whether RCM is applicable on receiver. So like GTA is providing the service and he is delivering the goods which is exempted or nil rated. Now his question is whether the recipient is liable to pay tax under reverse charge in those cases also. So notification number 12 and entry number 21 gives the GTA the exemption for the GTA service, and it says like when the GTA will deliver the goods like the agriculture produce, milk, salt and food grains, organic manure, newspaper or magazine, etc., etc., then the GTA will not be liable to pay tax, or his service will be completely exempt. So those exemption is not saying to you that in case the GTA supply or deliver the goods which are exempt or nil rated is those services exempted. No, the entry number 21 of notification number 12 just give you the 4 or 5 item, like when the GTA will deliver those 4 or 5 item, then only it will be exempted, not whole exempted goods like the nil rated or exempted goods. Whenever the GTA will supply those nil rated or exempted goods will be exempted service for the GTA. So no, only those goods which is mentioned in entry number 21 of notification number 12, when the GTA will deliver those goods, then only the service of GTA will be exempt. So your question is like, if GTA service is for exempted or nil rated goods, then whether RCM is applicable on receiver? Yes, it will be applicable. But if those goods will be like those which is provided in entry number 21 of notification number 12, then only the service of GTA will be exempt. So that was a 8 or 7 question which you guys asked, and that was really cool. So if you wanna also ask the query, then you drop your query on the comment section. I will reply it by way of separate video. And just for your record, or just for your yourself, I have also started a new YouTube channel where I will discuss about the Ind AS, which is the Indian Accounting Standard, which is applicable with effect from this financial year, and also for small size company this will be applicable with effect from the next financial year. So if you wanna interested to know the Ind AS, then check out that channel. The link of that channel is in the description, and also if you will click like right here after ending this video, then you can also go to that channel and you can subscribe from that. So that is the initiative which I am taking. I haven't uploaded any video which is informative video till now on that channel, but please subscribe the channel and keep watching, because you know Ind AS is also important for you guys, and you can also educate you about the Ind AS. So that was the video. We will meet again in the next video. Till then, bye bye.